Healing your fearful avoidant attachment style is a journey. It's not something that happens overnight. You have to rewire your brain and nervous system to feel safe letting connection in and to stop treating vulnerability like danger. No one is broken, and that's not wishful thinking, it's neuroplasticity. That's your brain's ability to form new neural pathways, and everyone has it. So yes, there are clear signs that you're healing as a fearful avoidant, and that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Hi, I'm Jess. I've helped over 5,000 people find love, and I run a one-to-one coaching program that rewires your attachment patterns so you can go from overthinking to confident, secure, and decisive. You can apply via the link in the description box. So the healing journey of a fearful avoidant. I've guided many fearful avoidants through that exact journey, and it's such a privilege to be part of it. It's so incredible to see people go through that transformation. And living with a fearful avoidant attachment style can be both exhausting and deeply painful. As a former fearful avoidant myself who has done this healing work, I can't tell you how much of a difference it makes, both on a daily basis and also when going through bigger things in life. When you become secure, you have a deep sense of safety within yourself and an internal anchor that keeps you grounded. But yes, let's get to it. Here are the 7 signs you're healing your fearful avoidant attachment style, and I'll talk through each one separately. 1, you sit with uncertainty instead of shutting down. This is one of the clearest signs you're healing as a fearful avoidant, and I see this with my fearful avoidant clients all the time. Fearful avoidants really don't like uncertainty, especially when it comes to relationships and love. So instead of working through discomfort, conflict, or maybe some messiness, they will often pull away, or maybe shut down, or try to regain control in some way. So if you find yourself sitting with uncertainty instead of immediately rushing to end things or pull away, that's a real sign of healing. It means that you're starting to regulate your emotions instead of reacting from fear. You're beginning to trust that you can handle the in-between part without needing to run, fix, or disappear. 2, you don't cancel plans when you feel overwhelmed. For fearful avoidance, the instinct to withdraw or cancel plans when overwhelmed is part of that classic deactivation pattern. It's their nervous system saying, I need space to feel safe again. So if you notice yourself starting to stay present instead of pulling away, that's a real sign of progress. It means your nervous system is starting to trust that you can feel a little bit uncomfortable and still be safe. You're no longer relying on avoidance or distance to reground yourself. You're learning that safety can happen within connection, not just by yourself. And that's a key part of being secure, being able to regulate your emotions both on your own and with others. And a quick heads up, if you're anxiously attached, this is for you. If you've ever felt like you're giving it your all in love, but somehow you keep sabotaging your relationships without meaning to, I've got something that can help. I've put together a guide that breaks down the 3 biggest mistakes anxiously attached people make that push love away and how to break these cycles so you can finally build the secure relationship you've always wanted. And I'm giving it away for free for a limited time. And honestly, if you're anxiously attached, you can't afford to miss this. These are the exact patterns I've seen destroy relationships over and over again. I've helped over 5,000 people find love. My work has been featured in Forbes, Men's Health, the New York Times, and many more. Click the link in the description box to grab your copy while it's still available. 3, you're scared they'll leave, but you don't push them away first. This one is a huge step for a fearful avoidant, and it ties in with the point about uncertainty. For a fearful avoidant, not knowing where they stand feels unbearable. So sometimes they'll end things when the uncertainty becomes too much. A lack of clarity can trigger deep fears about rejection or abandonment, and ending things gives them a temporary sense of control or relief. But at its core, it's really about escaping the anxiety of not feeling safe in the unknown. And when I see this one happen with clients, when I see them start to stay to work things out instead of pushing someone away, I'm always like, yay, I'm so happy, because feels like a big turning point. And it actually happened with one last week. And it was amazing because he'd been pushing people away for over a decade, and he finally stayed to work through the discomfort. 4, you pause instead of starting a fight to feel in control. Fearful avoidants often create conflict as a way to regain power when they feel vulnerable or unsure. It's easier in their minds to feel angry than vulnerable or exposed. So if you start catching yourself in that moment and you pause to think before reacting, that's huge. It means you're creating space between the trigger and the reaction. Your nervous system is gradually learning that you don't need to suddenly take the upper hand to feel safe. You're learning that there's another way to deal with conflict, through communication and calm, not power and control. 5, you stay open when your instinct is to self-protect. This is one of the hardest things for someone with a fearful avoidant attachment style to do. When you've been hurt before, your nervous system learns that shutting down or distancing yourself keeps you safe. But when you choose to stay open, to keep listening, to stay present, to let someone see how you actually feel, you're breaking that old pattern. You're starting to see that vulnerability doesn't automatically lead to pain. And over time, those moments of staying open build real safety and trust, both within yourself and in your relationships. 6, you said it mattered instead of pretending it didn't. This is another sign that a fearful avoidant is healing because they're used to downplaying their emotions to try to feel safe. Fearful avoidants often convince themselves that they don't care, to avoid the pain of rejection or disappointment. And whether it's admitting to yourself that you care or to someone else, that's a vulnerable thing because it means you're letting someone see a part of you that could be hurt, or you're letting yourself see that. So it opens the door to potential rejection or disappointment. So when you admit to yourself and others that you care anyway, that's another step in the healing journey. 7, you let them see your sadness without feeling weak. This one actually depends on whether the fearful avoidant leans more anxious or avoidant. More avoidant types usually can't stand someone seeing them crying or feeling sad, while more anxious leaning fearful avoidants might express their emotions and then feel ashamed or too much afterwards. In both cases, showing sadness without judging yourself for it or feeling weak is a really positive step in a healing journey. Fearful avoidants often associate showing emotion with rejection, judgment, or losing control. So hiding their emotions becomes second nature. And when you start breaking that cycle, you're showing your nervous system that showing emotions can actually build closeness, and it can be a sign of strength. So there we have it. 7 signs you're healing your fearful avoidant attachment style. And if you want a clear, proven framework to rewire your attachment style, that's exactly what I guide people through in my one-to-one coaching program. You'll learn how to regulate your nervous system, disarm your triggers, feel safe with closeness, and build calm, secure relationships. You can apply via the link in the description box. Thanks for watching.